Hello. My name is RAndiindRA. I am here to read to you. This is a momentous time. And there's a very special book that has been released now, ready for you to learn about your ancestry. The book is called The Galactic Soul History of the Universe, written by Rising Phoenix Aurora. I love you. I honor you and respect you. Thank you for listening as we go on a great journey. This is the book, The Galactic Soul History of the Universe. I'm going to read the acknowledgements and all of the important chapters. The first 2.5 chapters are available to read online for free. I'm sure we'll want to read past that. So here's a message from Aurora and her acknowledgements for the book. This book represents love manifested into reality. We are deeply humbled and truly honored to be able to present this book in this time and space to humanity on Earth. Please know that this book is a multidimensional, deep labor of love from so many beautiful and resilient souls who have contributed by sharing their incredible soul journeys with us. Each one of them courageously doing their part in anchoring in the love light within themselves, first by self-healing while on earth, and then shining their love light brightly throughout creation. It is truly a beautiful experience to witness all these inspiring soul journeys across all dimensions, densities, from both the physical and non-physical realms in creation, divinely come together to form an in-depth collective soul remembrance for all in the form of this timeless book. Our deepest gratitude and love to Aurora for following her heart in pursuing this path of love by pioneering the Aura hypnosis healing modality in this time and space, where it is very much needed to aid humanity in rebuilding the organic timeline for Earth and the universe. It took tremendous courage to blaze the path forward for all these beautiful Aura hypnosis healing sessions to take place. So this book could be created to aid many more souls to awaken, thus rippling out love light throughout creation exponentially. This book is made possible through the divine hand gracefully at play to align all these beautiful sessions across states, countries, continents, and timelines. Through all the beautiful souls who shared their inspiring journeys for the collective, through the benevolent angelic and galactic teams who assisted all throughout, including the healings, through the Rising Phoenix Aurora team who helped pull all of this together, working long hours day and night to make this book possible, through supportive family members who understood the importance of this project, who endured the long work hours of their loved ones, and through all the RPA students, practitioners, and friends of the infinite loving support, feedback, and inspirations. Our infinite gratitude and love to all the love light warriors and star seeds out there doing their part in making this world a better place for all. Equally important is all of you, dearest reader. You are the inspiration for this book, and the knowing of how this foundational book can touch all souls who are divinely guided towards it is what inspires us to keep doing our best for all. We humbly thank you for your love and support in appreciating this book and for recognizing what it can do for you at the soul level. We love you. We honor you. We respect you and we thank you. We are so infinitely grateful for you, dearest reader and fellow traveler, on this most beautiful journey of creation. From the Rising Phoenix Aurora team. Introduction. Beloved soul and dear reader, we are infinitely grateful and honored for you to be here, holding this book in the palms of your hands as you are ready to embark on this journey together. We humbly thank your higher self in getting you to this very moment in preparation to experience the most catalyzing galactic history that your soul and heart will feel as you read every word, paragraph, and as you feel the suspense through each turning page. These various soul journeys are fascinating, deep, profound, and enlightening, thought-provoking, and emotional. Each one so unique, yet will form a crucial part of the larger galactic history. In this book, you will journey through the galactic history of our universe and at times the multiverse, beginning into an awareness of why it is that our world is constructed in the manner that it is. And this will awaken you to the possibilities of sovereignty of the soul. You will regain, piece by piece, pieces of you that you may have long forgotten or lost. Lost as you too experience the self-healing through the eyes and expressions of each soul's galactic journey, as we are only but reflections of one another. The best way to approach this book is with an open mind and an open heart. As you read each chapter and galactic journey, take time to reflect and let the wisdom of it sink in, and then proceed to the next chapter. Keep notes if you shall need. I have taken the greatest attention after each chapter to include channeled details to each session, which will profoundly help you understand each further from the individual soul perspective and the collectives, bringing forth concepts that you perhaps had not thought about as you read each section, or if you did, it will settle into place with the greatest understanding. Each chapter is placed together with such divine flow that will help you with ease to move and dance through the book. You will not want to put this book down, as each divine session will activate your soul's blueprints further and further. You will feel the deep, profound self-activations within your soul through each emotion felt and expressed. Your soul and your higher self will guide you accordingly and allow what is meant to remain with you in this time and space to divinely integrate and activate whatever you are ready for in your organic timeline. You will find that you will want to read it over and over, as each time you will gain additional layers of understanding. As we journey through this book, one will experience a range of intense emotions, from crying, disbelief, anger, sadness, to relief, laughter, hope, wonder, faith, joy, inspiration, empowerment, and infinite love. As each soul remembers their own soul's journey through the multiverse, you will feel yourself cheer them on and get to know each soul as you knew them personally and intimately, as truly you do beyond the veil. As each one of these souls volunteered bravely to be the first wave in playing this role of sharing their soul's journey stories, not only for your own personal ascension, but also for their personal ascension. It's the collective's assistance into the ascension, where we have been, where we are now, and where we are headed. As the multitude of beautiful expressions of Creator Source Energy collaborating to create this profound series of galactic soul journeys to activate our remembrance of who we truly are at the soul and at the unity collective conscious level. The names of all who's shared their beautiful galactic soul journeys have been changed to honor their privacy. Know that these infinitely beautiful and courageous souls are living amongst us in the now, doing their crucial part in anchoring the love light into earth during this incredible time, as we all are working toward bringing forth ascension for individual and collective timelines for earth and the universe. There is so much going on these days, much of which is intentional in design and holding the collective dense and in perpetual fear. By holding us dense in negative emotions, we delay our own soul growth, dim our inner light, and delay the organic timeline for ascension. This book series is intended to instead jumpstart divinely Earth's ascension and assist Mother Earth within her energetic stabilization, where many do not feel victimized by deep-rooted feelings of fear, shame, guilt, lack of self-love, lack of abundance, hopelessness, anger, and self-doubt, mindlessly repeating the patterns of dysfunctions in this lifetime or over many lifetimes. Through the history of the universe, you will finally come into a realization and understanding why it is that these negative cycles seem as they cannot be broken within you or others around you. Many times you might have asked, what is wrong with the world and why can't others see what I see? You will find the roots to these emotions within you. In turn, experiencing a most profound soul expansion through each expression of emotion. These negative energy patterns dim the infinite love life flame within us and hold us in dense fear, preventing us from reaching our highest potential as sovereign, conscious creator, utilizing our gift of free will for creating more beauty in the universe for all. You can look at this book series as the Holy Grail of knowledge and wisdom from the multitudes of higher self perspectives and expressions scribed for our memory recall and infinite collective soul ascension. Our message to you is one of hope. For where there is hope, there is love. And love is infinite. Know that you can break free from the mind controls and the energetic shackles imposed on you as soon as you realize how powerful you truly are at the soul level, With your divine connection to Source, we go within as some of the toughest and most profound battles occur within us, not outside. When we commit to self-healing, this is an empowering, crucial first step in realizing our divine sovereignty and our true strength as a child of the divine Creator, shielding ourselves from harm, using love light force fields, establishing boundaries, and embracing our sovereignty. And if one feels guided to do so, there are powerful healing modalities available, such as aura hypnosis healing and raw Reiki healing, to aid and jumpstart your self-healing journey. It is especially important for all of us to realize that we are all healers and we can self-heal. Disease or illness stem forth from energetic imbalances in the human body through our emotions, vibrations, karmic energy, chakra points, and inorganics within us as AI entities. Our body is made to be able to self-heal, and it will try to talk to us through certain aches, discomforts, or illness. Illnesses are energy imbalances and blockages that we have created within ourselves. Our body tries to speak to us through these signs. Examples are cancer, unexpressed emotions turning into anger and hatred, diabetes, lack of sweetness or love in one's life, arthritis, holding on to something or someone very tightly and not releasing, throat disorders, not speaking our truth or fear of speaking out. We have also found that at times we can carry over allergies, illnesses, birthmarks from past lives. For example, if one died of a gunshot to the heart in a past life, so now heart problems exist in this life. That energy might be carried over to this current life, needing to be quantumly karmically healed. We have also discovered that nanotech AI are within immunization shots and chemicals within our food, our water, our air, our intakes, are root causes to illness. And through these galactic soul journeys, we will learn exactly how that is and what that looks like. All these galactic soul journeys were facilitated using a sacred healing modality called Angelic Universal Regression Alchemy, A.U.R.A. hypnosis healing. The A.U.R.A. method uses a combination of sacred angelic energy work to create a bridge for the client to connect to their higher self. This allows us to enter the theta brainwave of A.U.R.A. hypnosis sacredly and safely to bring forth memories of our existence, to quantum heal our body, to find our life purpose, and to remember our galactic origins. In A.U.R.A. sessions, as a client, you will speak to your soul, to your higher self who is you, and the higher self is one with the Creator who knows all. Our higher self soul is truly God's source, and it is where we can find all the answers we are looking for, and where we connect to this unlimited, infinite healing vibration. By connecting to our higher self, we then allow for that little voice in our head that has been there all our lives, our consciousness, to finally speak through us, sharing its infinite wisdom. Many experience blockages of energy which do not allow for the deepest possible connection to the higher self during hypnosis. This is what sets A.U.R.A. hypnosis healing apart from other hypnosis past life regression modalities. The key being that before client sessions begin, the client's higher self, in union with the aura hypnosis practitioner, conducts sacred angelic energy work prior to entering the hypnosis brainwave, thus creating a bridge for the client to connect to their higher self at the deepest level possible. During the process of this sacred energy work, the higher self removes excess and negative energy that is not needed during the session to allow for the deepest level of connection. Through this sacred energy work, our higher self will place us in the highest, safest, sacred vibration that no longer allows what is inorganic within us to remain during the high vibrations of the aura session. This begins the unveiling of all that is artificial within clients, bringing it all up to the surface for healing. If one is unable to connect to our higher self to quantum heal, or if a deeper connection is needed, the archangels are able to assist, always with the higher self's permission first, by using their infinite source love light to strengthen the connection, to allow for the healing of the mind, body, and soul during the session. The archangels are the first fractals of the divine creator source. The Elohim angels individualize out from collective infinite consciousness of source. Therefore, they hold the purest frequencies in creation, and they are able to assist us in healings in divine ways that align with our soul's organic blueprints. By being of this infinite source, beginning fractals, they hold the greatest strength of love light power, which is why when the higher selves of our clients can't heal or remove something, which is why they can. As the archangels are benevolent beings, they will only assist if we ask them to, and always with our permission first. Throughout this book, we will read about the infinite, beautiful ways the archangels and benevolent soul families always assist us, all of us, throughout the healing shared in all of the galactic soul journeys mentioned. Truly, we are loved beyond measure by Source and our galactic soul families, for they are always there to assist us for our highest good in our lives. Throughout this book, there will be occasional reference to the Reiki Angelic Alchemy Healing R.A.A. method, which is another profound and powerful energy healing modality, which also uses sacred angelic alchemy to facilitate the healing session. Unlike aura hypnosis healing sessions, R.A.A. does not go into past life regression hypnosis. For those who feel they are not quite ready yet for an aura session, a R.A.A. session is a beautiful way to prepare for a future aura session, as it helps the client to start connecting to their higher self and clairvoyant senses. The main focus of the book is on the aura hypnosis healing modality, through which these beautiful soul journeys and higher selves wisdom are shared with us and the collective. To all who are guided to this book, may this book assist you through soul remembrance of the inverted AI matrix, in turn learning to weave through it so that you may graduate and begin operating instead in the organic matrix, bridging forth your ascension into the fifth dimension or above. May the beautiful galactic soul journeys and lessons contained in it activate your heart, your soul, and your remembrance of who you truly are and who your brethren truly are within your universe. May your most organic timeline forward unfold beautifully as you choose to release the falseness of all kinds around you, as you learn and remember them through this book, reminding you to travel in alignment with love and guided by your true, infinite, higher self. I love you, honor you, respect you, and I thank you for being a fellow soul traveler on this most beautiful galactic journey of soul remembrance. Love, Rising Phoenix Aurora. December 21st, 2020. This next section is very important. The Love Light Shielding Technique. Before we begin reading this book, please understand that one of our core foundational teachings is shielding ourselves with our I Am Source Love Light, so that we can be more intentional with managing our energy frequency in our daily lives, thus empowering us to be in our sovereignty. When we shield and set our intentions for the day, we are declaring our sovereignty over our own free will and life force on how we want our day to be. We are powerful creator beings if we allow for it by actively maintaining our vibrations to the purest I Am Source Love Light. Please review this page carefully, as they contain beginner sacred alchemy teachings for you to start using your I Am Source Love Light to create force fields around you, maintaining your vibrations high. Our intent is to teach you on how you can help your inner light become stronger by actively using the force fields around you, filtering out the negative that means harm so that you may strongly heart discern every frequency that passes through. These force fields will help you amplify your heart discernment, reading what energies are harmful and what is not. It is important that we surround ourselves with our own infinite I Am Source Love Light daily. Ideally, you should be shielding yourself every morning when you wake up and every evening before the sun sets for optimal results. This energy is accessed through your heart and flows out through your hand chakras. Our heart center is where we are able to tap into the infinite source love light energy. When doing this for your day, it will ensure to keep your energies high and not depleted. When we set the proper intent for our energy, surrounding yourself with the I Am Source Love Light will help keep your mind focused and clear and your abilities strong and open. Please practice these empowering love light shielding techniques on the next 2 pages daily. Opening your hand chakras. It is important to open your hand chakras as it is out from them that the universal love energy will flow. Energy will enter through the crown and the bottom of the feet, connect to the heart, and flow out through the palms, connecting the alchemy symbols. Place your hands in the gassho position. Gassho is a gesture with the hands held in prayer position in front of the chest. Rub your hands together as you desire. Clap your hands 4 times in prayer position and state with strength, open. Turn hands horizontal with left hand above right facing each other. Open and close both hands in this position 13 times. Switch hands now, right over left. Open and close both hands again in this position 13 times. You should be feeling the vibrations in between your palms. Play with this energy, moving it around and expanding it bigger, then shrinking, creating it into an energy ball. If the energy ball bursts, no worries. Just rub your hands again together and pull apart palms facing each other to create again. No need to repeat steps 1 through 7 once the opening of the hand chakras is completed. Going forward, just rubbing your hands together will create the energy ball inside your palms. You may use this energy ball of live light around your home, your cars, children, stating without harming anyone, "We are powerful creator beings," and by stating this, we make sure not to pull from someone else's energy. I am Source Love Light and Merkaba. Rub your hands together to create your energy ball consisting of your I am Source Love Light. Viewing it and sensing it through your imagination. Expand it to surround your vessel and your auric field. You may make it the color of your choice and may include a sacred geometric symbol that aligns with you, encasing the walls of this bubble. Set the intent by stating, "Shall I be shielded from harm, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, throughout the infinity of creation? I do not consent to harm all day and night, without harming anyone, for my highest good." As you expand the light, state 4 times, "I invoke the I am love light in me." With your hands, expand the light around yourself, your loved ones, animal companions, cars, and home. Envision your 8-point Merkaba surrounding you. It is a live consciousness, so envision it activating or coming to life, so to speak. It is a counterclockwise, upside down, 4-sided pyramid, expanding, repelling, spinning structure of light at the bottom. Clockwise, right side up, drawing in energy at the top pyramid through the crown. The Merkaba is an extension of our consciousness and represents the integration of the spiritual, energy, and physical bodies. Made up of 8 triangles having 8 points, we find that the Merkaba also reflects the infinite energy and protection of creation. Since the number 8 is an ancient alchemy infinity symbol, each triangle, 3-sided points, represent the sacred 3 elements of the Divine Mother, Father, and Child Trinity complex. We have included more foundational teachings for you to work spiritually within, to start building a solid foundation for your spiritual growth journey forward. This book's cover art is beautifully illustrated by Ali Latsufka at soulhealingessentials.com. Our infinite love and gratitude to Ali for sharing her beautiful artistic gift with us. And here we begin. Chapter 1. The first reptilian consciousness attachments. Session number 160. Recorded in June 2019 and never before shared. In this online aura hypnosis healing session, Jasmine is looking to expand her gifts and ready to bring forth renewal. However, she feels stuck and clouded. Never did we expect what was to come, and a part of what was holding her back in life. This is one of the sessions that started showing us more details on how this race of reptilians began their control over Earth through these forms, what we refer to as the first experiments. Jasmine finds herself as a child trapped in a dark place, separated from one another, where other children are as well. She courageously fights for her freedom of her soul. On this suspenseful journey, where we see these experiments up close, we learn about the importance of shielding with love light to minimize harm and infringements on oneself. The trees help you. The earth helps you. It's almost as if they clean what they can. There is hope. Channel the light. If you push that light, you do this consciously until you do it unconsciously all the time. You will do what the earth does from your higher self. Jasmine says, I feel like I am in Egypt. There is sand, the Middle East, very hot. Aurora, if you could look at yourself, do you feel like you have a body? Yes. Look down at your feet. Are you wearing anything on your feet? I can see my toes. It looks like sandals. How many toes do you have? 10 toes. Look at your hands. How many fingers do you have? 10 fingers. Look at yourself. Are you wearing anything? I'm a male, not a dress, a garment, long, but there are no pants. It's like a wrap. What color is it? Lighter than sand, like a beige, like a light beige. Are you wearing any jewelry? No, but there's something on my head to protect me. Is there anything you're carrying? Water. Tell me what it is that you're doing. What are you doing here in the sand? Walking to a meeting. Are you near it? It's almost as if I have to take tunnels underground to get there. Were you on top of the sand at the beginning? It looked like a hill. There were parts that were higher and lower. How did you get in through the tunnels? There is an entrance and 2 guards. Where is the entrance? It's underneath what looks like a pyramid, but it almost looks like a pyramid itself is made of sand. It doesn't seem solid. You said there are 2 guards by the entrance. Yes, and one has a long staff. Look at his face, his features. How does he look? His skin is darker than mine. He has thick black eyebrows and a beard. There's a little bit of white on his beard, white hairs, and some sand. Okay, you said he's holding a staff. What does his staff look like? It's taller than him. It's about 3 inches thick, very long, and it curves at the top. What about the other guard? How does he look? He's sitting down. I think his hair is long. He also has a beard, but he's younger than the man with the staff. Are they standing on each side of the door, the entrance? Yes. Except for the one that is sitting and the other one is standing? Exactly. The one that's sitting, is there anything else that stands out about him? He just looks tired. Very good. Let's go ahead and go through that entrance. Are you able to go through there? Yes. Is there anything that you need to do before you're allowed to enter through it? They already know me. Okay. As you're going through the entrance, I want you to pay attention to how you look. I know that you said you are male. Can you describe what your face looks like and your features? I have a full beard. It extends almost to my collarbones. My skin is tan, but lighter than the man's outside. I can see my eyes. They're brown, dark brown. Very good. And as you continue to walk, when you enter this entrance, what do you see right when you enter it? A long, long path, and the walls look like stone, but they're wet. Is there anything that you can see that stands out from them, like colors or shapes or symbols? I'm running my fingers along the stone, and it feels like there can be carvings, but there are so many I can't see them. Tell me, what else are you sensing? Very dark and damp. I feel like my heart is starting to race, but I don't know why. Are you able to touch the walls? Yes, that's how I can feel the carvings. It feels like stone carvings? Yeah, it feels like I could see gray, like gray black stone. But on that stone, there are carvings. They're deeper than just the denseness of the stone. Is there anything that's lighting your path? All the way down at the end, there's a room, and there are lights on in there. So I can see that there's something there. There are people there. I can feel them. Continue that way. Fast forward a bit, and as you continue that way, let me know if there's anything that stands out before you reach the room. It keeps going. This tunnel, you can either turn right and go to that room, or you can keep going. I can see where it keeps going, but there's no light down that way. Okay, let me know once you are right in front of that room. I'm there. Before you enter that room, is there anything that stands out before you go in? Just the light inside. Good. Go ahead and step through. And as you step through, let me know all that you are seeing, sensing, and feeling. There's something that looks like an altar that is also made of stone. There's nothing on it. It's very large, and there are people. It's like the people are there, but they're not there, but they're in a circle around it. Okay, and how are they surrounding it? Is there a shape they are making around it? They're in a circle around the altar, and the altar it's not a perfect oval, but kind of. These people that might be there, if you can see, are there many? Are there a few? There's 9 or 10. Okay, let's see. Let's scan the room and see one of these people. Let's see if one of them stands out, one of them that draws your attention. Yes. Tell me what they look like. They're completely covered, like they're wearing what looks like a cloak, but there's something covering their head too, and it's like a hat, but it's pointy and tall and covered. Is it different from what you're wearing on your head? Yes. Anything else or anyone else that stands out? They're all wearing the same clothes, except only one has the big covering on his head. Okay. Is it a he or a she? It's a he. He's the only one wearing the pointy hat? Yes. Okay. What is it that they're doing around this circle oval altar? Jasmine says, it seems like they are sacrificing. It seems like when you ask, it's like I'm getting the answer and it's playing out. When I look again, it's not really there. But I think they place people on that altar. Aurora says, let's go ahead and go to a time and space that you mentioned. They have someone placed on the altar. Let's go there now. Tell me what you're seeing. They have a young boy, maybe 13 or 14, and he's curled up into a ball on top of the stone. Is he alive? Yes. What is he wearing? Nothing. How does he look? He's very thin. His skin is lighter than the others. Can you see his eyes? He's covering his face. He's curled up as tightly as he can. What are they doing around him as he's lying there? I'm understanding that they've kept him there for a long time, on the table or elsewhere, in that cave. They've kept him in the cave, not just on the altar. Yes. How long? At the age of 12 is when they were able to start doing whatever they're doing to him. What is it that they're doing to him now? It's almost as if they're trying to put, it feels like thoughts or beliefs. They're not trying to put something from them into him. They're trying to put something from them into him, but his body is rejecting it. It's not working. They're putting something that is not physical, yet I can see it. How does it look? It looks almost like a little ball that's spinning, but not perfectly round. It has little peaks and valleys to it. It almost glows, but it flickers like it's not a strong light. It flickers on and off, and when they stand in the circle, they each transfer this light onto the man with the hat, and he's the one that implants it into the child. What color is that light? It's like a very, very, very light blue. It's almost white. Are there males and females there that are doing this to the child? 2 females. See if you're able to look at one of the females. Can you describe to me, what does she look like? She feels so similar. She looks like what my mother looked like when she was in her 20s. Light brown, blonde hair, fair skin. It looks like her. Look at her eyes. You're able to recognize the soul through the eyes. That's her. How do you think she feels about doing this to the child? She feels guilty, but it's almost like she thinks she should be doing it. But she feels guilty too. Aurora says, look at the man with the pointy hat. Look at his eyes. Does he feel like he's human? No. What does he feel like? Oh my goodness, I can almost see a tail. Okay, his skin changed now. He looks jet black, and I can almost see a tail under that cloak, and he became very large, much, much taller. What kind of tail are you seeing under there? It's thick. It doesn't look like a dog or cat's tail. It looks like thick, like if it would be, I don't know, like a dinosaur tail. If it could be half human, half dinosaur, it looks like that. Okay, look at his eyes. Do you recognize his soul? It feels like I do, but at the same time, his eyes make my whole body tingle. It feels strange. Remember, you are safe and protected. Nothing can harm you. Do you recognize his soul? I know this being, but I can't place him. I don't know how. Look again around at all of them. Is he the only one with this kind of hidden form? No, they're not human. Would that be all of them? I'm looking for my mother to see, and I see a tail on her as well, but it's green. It's not the color of her skin anymore. Would you say that this is inside of them, or that this is their true form? It feels like a mix of both. When you are there with them, do you feel like you are part of them, you're observing, or separate? At the very beginning, when I saw the boy, I felt like that was me, but I'm not in his body. I'm in a different body. So, do they see you with them, interacting with them, or are you just observing? I'm observing, but the one with the hat, I feel like he can feel me. Aurora calls. Higher self? Make sure she stays invisible to his senses. Make sure he doesn't sense her, please. Is she invisible to him now? Yes. Let's go back in time, right when they have grabbed this child from wherever it is that they were at when they acquired him. Wherever that was, you are there now. What do you see? The people that took the boy are guards. They took him. He was 3, maybe 4, and they took him from his mother. Where were they when they took him? It looks like a village with little huts. There were people around, but they just watched as if it was normal. What is the mother doing when they're pulling away her child? She's screaming and she's trying to get her son, but they hold her back. She can't. What do the guards look like? These guards look different. Their hats are harder. It doesn't look soft like the other ones, and they have long sticks. It looks like a spear, a very, very, very long. Describe to me how the mother looks. What is she wearing? She has long hair. Looks like something is pulling her hair back. She's wearing, it looks like a long, long dress, but it almost feels heavy. It feels thick. Are there any other colors to the outfit? I'm seeing browns and beige, but I can feel something on her that's blue. What color is her skin? What are her features like? Her skin is like a soft tan. She looks very petite. She has a small face, thin features. It almost feels like she wasn't originally from there, like she's not from that village. She came from somewhere else. You said that their homes look like huts. Kind of. It looks like it was made with raw materials. Would you say that there are many in her village? Yes. From where I am, I can see 3 huts, but I know there's more. Okay, so what happens now that they've grabbed her son? What happens next? They take him to that cave. There are other children. Was this cave in that pyramid type of form? Yes. The top looks like a sand pyramid, but the underground looks like stone, dark stone. Okay, and there are other children there as well? Yes, but it looks like they're held captive, like they're held separate from each other. How do they keep them separate from each other? They're not rooms, but they're little crevices within the walls. They did this. They dug it out. The cave wasn't like this before. They keep it separate, and there are guards. Do they have a door or a gate keeping them into each little section, little room? Yes. Would you say that there are a few, several, many children? Right now I see 3 doors. 3 doors. So there are 3 children currently? Yes. Okay. What do they do with him? Do they place him in one of those? Before they do that, they remove his clothes. They hurt him. He's crying. They hit him because he cries. And after they remove his clothes, what do they do to him? They put him inside one of the rooms. They close the door. There is no light. Is there anything in that room? No. How do they use the bathroom? On the floor. Fast forward just a bit. How do they feed him? Do they feed him? Yes. They throw food inside as if they were animals to eat off the floor. Let's see. Let's fast forward to another time, to when there is perhaps another child being taken outside besides the one you saw already. Tell me what you see. The child's older, about 8 years old, dark black hair. Okay. And what do they do with him when they remove him from the little room? It feels like they're showing me again the circle, and it feels like they're trying to implant something, but it's not physical. I see that same little, it looks like a ball, but it's pointy. It has pointy parts. Does it come out from the guy with the hat? Yes. When it comes out, what does it do? And from what part of him does it come from? It's coming out of his mouth. He's opening his mouth, but it looks huge, his mouth. It doesn't look human. It's huge. And that little blue spinning ball comes out, and they're trying to put this in the boy. They're trying to put it into his leg. When it comes out, does it flow on its own towards the child? It moves slowly as if someone is guiding it, as if someone is putting it there, but it moves really slow. See if you can feel and sense what is inside that ball. You are safe and protected, so you can sense what it is as it's floating through the air. Does it have a consciousness? What is it? Jasmine says, it feels like if all of those people extracted a part of themselves to make this little ball, and it goes through the circle until it reaches that being that seems like the leader. Then it comes out of him, but it feels like that ball is a piece of all of them. What do you sense from it? How does it make you feel? It makes me feel cold. It feels a little bit scary, but at the same time, I know that I'm safe. But it feels like one of them. It feels like it's a baby version of one of these beings. Okay, a baby version of the creatures. Now, as it floats toward the child, tell me what happens as it gets close to the child. Okay, now I see one person on each side holding the child down so that he doesn't move. And there's a slicing of the child's leg. It's above his ankle, around where his calf is, but nobody is cutting open. It's just being cut open, and he's bleeding. So it is being cut open, just kind of from thin air? Yes, there's no one doing it. Okay, what happens next? It goes inside, and he's twisting back and forth, and they're holding him. They're still holding him. And that ball keeps spinning inside. But since it has pointy parts, it hurts him. Does it just stay in the leg? No, it moves. It moves around his body. Look closely as it's moving around and spinning. What is it doing to the child from inside? Jasmine says, as it's so strange. It's spinning. It looks like the pointy parts cut him and he bleeds. But it looks like within that ball there's black ink coming out and mixing with his blood. Does it do that throughout his whole body or just certain parts? It went up to his leg and it stopped at his stomach, almost as if it's stuck. What does it do in his stomach? It's spilling out black ink. It looks like octopus ink. And then what does the ink do? It changes what he has. It changes him. Describe to me how it does that. As it releases the ink, what does the ink do? It's absorbing the blood that's coming out as that little ball cuts him, and it's like the blood is replaced by the ink. He doesn't have blood anymore. It's the ink that's his blood. The blood. What color is it now that it has the ink integrated with it or replaced? Black. Keep moving the scene along. Tell me what else happens with this ball inside of him. It stops at the head. It continued and then it stops in. It somehow got inside of his brain. In the very center of his brain is that ball. Everything is black. Everything is black within him? Yes. Was the boy not able to fight back energetically? He couldn't. What does it look like that it's sitting in his head? It looks like around him, around it. Inside of him, everything is black, but I can see the boy is sitting down, and the people around him aren't really in a circle anymore. It's like they finished and they're just standing there. What is the little boy doing now? God, he's sitting down, but his eyes, I can see it in his eyes. It doesn't look like him. It's still his body, but I don't know. Those eyes aren't his. See if you can see when this takeover of energy of sorts occurred. What happened to the soul within him? He's the soul. I saw a little piece of him leave. It moved so fast. It was like a liquid light. A little bit left, but it feels like that the little boy is still in there. But it doesn't feel like him. Let's see if we're able to see as deep as we can right now. Would you say that these pieces of themselves that they created are now, you can say, in charge of him? Yes. Would you say that the soul is in there trapped, or is the soul of the original child gone? He's still in there, but he's not the one in control. Okay. What happens next now? They're in control of him. They released him. Where does he go, and where did they release him? They gave him his clothes, and they opened the cave. The same entrance I went in through, he came out of, and he went back to his village. Let's follow him along. Let's see what happens when he goes back. What does he do? He's looking for someone. I think it's his sister. She's older, but it doesn't feel like his mother. Does he find her? Yes. What happens when he finds her? She's hugging him and she's crying. She takes him back to where he lives. Does it feel like he was gone a long time or a small amount? 1 to 2 years. When she hugs him, crying, how does he react? He's so cold. He lets her, but he doesn't really hug her back. I don't know. He seems like a robot. He seems like a zombie. He's not responsive. What happens next of significance when she takes him back to the home? He's an observer. That's his job. What is he observing? It's almost as if he scouts others to be taken. What is he scouting for? What are they looking for so that they can take them? They must be young. The body must be strong, not too thin. Do they look for anything energetically from the person, from the child? Jasmine says, this little boy, it's as if he can scan people. He's just looking, but he's scanning. When he's scanning the people, are they connecting to him when he's scanning? Do they have a connection with him? He's just looking and they don't realize it. How about the bad non-humans? Are they connected to him as he's scanning? Can they sense and see? Yes. Okay. Is there anything in particular that they look for in a child as far as color, energy-wise, what they look like? All this little boy does is scan. The one that makes that decision is that leader because he can see what the boy is scanning. Okay. Are there any other children who they have done this to that are also inside the village scanning? And do they do this just to this village, or are there other villages around? They send them to different places. Okay, what happens next of importance? They were showing me the other boy, the first boy I saw. Yes, tell me. Were they trying to do the same thing to him? Yes, but they couldn't. So, let's go back to that time when they were trying to do that to him. Let's go back there now. Let's go back at this very closely. Let's look at this very closely as they're sending this ball, just as they did with the other young man. Are they holding him down as well? I don't see anyone holding him. Is he curled up in a ball? Yes. Once the ball is closer to him, tell me what happens. What do you see, sense, and feel? It can't get close. It can't get close to him? No. Once it leaves that being's mouth, it goes about a foot away from him, but it can't get any closer to the boy. Let's look really closely. What is holding that ball from getting closer to him? Jasmine says, I am. You are? How are you doing that? I see myself in that man's body again and doing something. It looks like I am pulling it back or pushing it back, not letting it get closer to the boy. How are you doing that? I'm using my energy. I'm pushing it through my hand. Do they know what's going on? What's their reaction? At first, they didn't. But then he saw me. So then what happened? It's so strange. It feels like I am that boy, but yet I am also the man that's helping the boy. So what happens when they can't seem to get that ball through? What do? Okay, I can see clearly. It's like the little boy almost looks like a projection as the man. And that's where I'm seeing this from. But as soon as the leader looks at me, he's looking at the boy. And then he sees me stopping it. He just moves his hands, and it's as if I'm dead. I'm not there anymore. Let's go back a little bit and explain that one more time. So as soon as he sees you, what happens? He raises his hand, but it doesn't look like a hand. It looks wrinkly, and there are only 3 fingers. As soon as he moves his hand, I die. Which part? The you that is there protecting the child, or the child that is laying there? The man that's standing protecting the child dies. How is it that you die? He cut the connection. When he cuts the connection, what happens next to the child? Oh, now I can see. It was as if the child was pushing his energy out onto that man's form, and he severed it. That energy, it just went back into the child. Okay. And once it went back into him, what do they do next? He's angry. The child starts pushing that same light. It almost looks like a shield, but it is not a full shield. It is just between his feet and the leader. But it's not enough. The light starts to dim. I can't see it anymore. Is that man with a hat doing something with the light there that he was emanating, the little boy, to make it go dimmer? No. It's just dimming on its own? Yes. Tell me what happens next. What happens to the little boy in the light? Even though no one is protecting him, they still can't put that ball into him. It doesn't work. Are they not able to slice the skin like the other child? They've cut him, but the ball just doesn't. It just doesn't go in. It's not able to get close enough? No. So what do they do to the child? What do they do next? They kill him. How is it that they kill him? Decapitation. Is there anything that they do to his body or any parts of him when they decapitate him? They cut him open as if looking for something, but they don't find anything. They burn him. Why do they burn him? They don't want him there. To burn his body causes him to not allow the child in. It's almost as if, even though he's dead, they need to get rid of that body. They can't leave it there. Why? What would happen if they left it there? The connection, that energy that the boy carried would connect to them. Yes, they would be discovered. To burn his body cuts that link. Yes. Is there anything else that you see or sense or feel from this place that you want to share? They're showing me the number 1,000. Thousands of souls. They've taken thousands of souls? Yes. In this one cave? Many caves. This place that they're at, was there a sun, a moon? What colors were the skies? It almost feels like on top. It feels like here, it feels like the earth, the sun, the moon, but under where they were, there was no light. The only thing that lit the cave was the torches. The higher self is called forth. Thank you. Let's leave that life now. Can I please speak to the higher self of Jasmine? Yes. Am I speaking to Jasmine's higher self now? Yes. I honor you, I thank you, and I respect you for all the aid you have given us today. I know that you hold all the records of Jasmine's different lives. May I ask questions, please? Yes. Thank you for showing us this life, and if I may now ask further questions for some clarification of it, please. Okay. Thank you. Where was this place that you showed us? Was this connected to Earth or somewhere else? Earth. This place with the huts. Was there a time period that this was in where they were doing this, or an era? A higher self says, I'm seeing the number 770700. Now, this young boy that she saw, was that her, the 14-year-old boy? Yes. As far as these places and pyramids, how you mentioned that there had been thousands, that this had been done before, were there many of these throughout Earth at that time? Yes. How many would you say there was then, those undercover places? 52. Were they located throughout all of Earth? Some places more than others. Can you help us see where were some of those places that they were more focused on, that there were more of? The higher self said, they're showing me what looks like Asia, Europe, more of that area. Why is it that they chose those specific areas? Why did they focus more on those? There were many clandestine groups. It was easier. There were many people, but there were also many people who would wander and travel. It made it easier. You mentioned as well that when they took the little boy, the village didn't really fight back. Was this a normal thing for them? It's routine. They had no power. These beings, the one that we're testing, trying to do things to the child, to the children, she mentioned that they seemed bigger and darker and had tails. Were they connected to reptilians? A form of, yes. Are these locations still on Earth? Higher Self says, some, but they're like portals. They're like portals instead. They're still underground, but I'm seeing the beings popping in and out as if they're using portals. Okay. Are these like individual bases? Are they still active in this time and place? A few. What percentage, higher self, would you say are still active upon Earth from that example that you gave us of the 52? 2. There are still 2 active ones? Yes. Are we allowed to know the locations? Okay. They're showing me the continent of Africa toward the bottom left. Okay. Anywhere else? Undisclosed. The other is undisclosed. Okay. Now let's see. So they are still actively taking, say, children in these areas? Higher Self says, they're not taking children, but they're using the caves almost as a portal, like they're coming in from somewhere else and they're staying there. That's how they have access. So the original, this program of sorts, would you say that it's still active as it was then, taking the children? They don't need to take them anymore. Why not? Different technology. Would you say that what they started doing to the children then, inserting this black consciousness within them, that there were parts of fractals or consciousness of the reptilians themselves? Yes. So was it a reptilian consciousness that they were inserting into them? Yes. So what would happen to, for example, that child that was now different with that reptilian consciousness within them? Still there but controlled? What happens to that child when they died and then it incarnated? Would it continue with that reptilian consciousness within them? Higher Self says attachment. With the attachment? Yes. Would you say that a great good percentage of people who are on Earth were in some of these experiments and they accomplish what they are trying to accomplish through inserting consciousness into people? Reptilian consciousness? Yes. Some of those people would feel, like you said, controlled, zombie-ish, cold. Is that how they would feel if they had one of them like that child? Yes. Disconnected. Would you say that the program was canceled because they had accomplished what they needed to do? Yes, it evolved. Okay. And tell us what was so different about her, for example. This little boy that was laying there. The other one was so easy to just hold down and insert this through the cut. What was different from the other boy who they couldn't do this to? The light. What does that mean, the light? The light inside was stronger. Does it have anything to do with perhaps a soul being older than another soul? The experience gained as an older soul? Or, Yes. Did it have anything to do with perhaps the child's soul origin that made perhaps their light a little stronger than the other child? Yes, it was not compatible. Okay. The child that did not allow for that to enter, did they perhaps have a stronger love light type of frequency than the other? Yes. Is that what initially was stopping that other high frequency of love light, not allowing that lower density's ball thing to enter because it was a lower density? Yes, it was not comparable. Can you share with us what are other ways? So you say that it evolved, and I guess they developed other ways to insert these types of fractalizations into them and to people. What are some of the things that you can share with us in ways that they are inserting these types of consciousness into people currently, in this time and space now? A higher self says, mental programming. It's telepathic programming, but they use words to do it, a sequence of words. Is it like vibrations, tones? It comes as a vibration, a sequence of words repeated over and over, just like an implant. How do they emanate that? What do they emanate that through? It's like they are pulling energy from some in order to push out that frequency. They're pulling energy from where? Hosts. Hosts. Is that the population overall? Is that what you mean? Or what type of host? Is there a specific host that they are choosing? The higher self says, the ones they can feed off of, they pull. But when they take that energy, it's like it swirls inside one of these beings, and then when they push out, it's totally different than what they absorbed to begin with. Aurora says, I'm trying to understand this, so if you could explain this one more time. So the people that they can draw energy from would be people who had a lower type of frequency, perhaps like that of the child that they were able to penetrate into. They can absorb from anyone who's open. Anyone who's open. What about people that practice, say, love light type of shielding or force fields around them? Can they pull from them? No. Okay. Is this why they've taught light workers, channelers, and people who are meant to be leading the spiritual community? They've taught them shielding and force fields are fear-based, and we shouldn't do it. Exactly. Aurora says, okay, so this is the part of the programming to make people believe that. Higher self says, that's part of the words they say implant into us to make us not shield. Aurora, if there is someone who has thousands of followers and you are watching that someone or learning from them and they are speaking this vibration, how you mentioned it's coming out through tones and sounds, and they are saying, this is fear-based, don't do it. As this being or teacher, who perhaps might have thousands of followers, with a good percentage of those thousands of followers listening to what they're saying, that it is fear-based, are they, the speaker, teacher, or leader, are they emanating this? Is this a way to form a connection, a transfer to the listeners, to allow these types of consciousnesses to connect and enter into them? Higher self says that is the agenda. Okay. However, some who perhaps their higher selves or perhaps their force fields could be stronger, like that of the child that she was, that was stronger and couldn't allow them in. Some of those would reflect that out and not allow that black or dark consciousness ball come in. Yes. I want to clarify this, as this has been something that you all have been trying to show me for a long time, and I have yet to find someone who can give me the information as clear as this. Say that there is someone channeling, and they are part of this. They feel very cold. Perhaps you do not feel love, and this person is in a theta brainwave, as there are light workers out there that work in the theta brainwave to channel. When these channelers are speaking, let's say they themselves might also feel like that child who has taken control, and they feel cold and disconnected even though they are claiming to be of love light. When these channelers are in that theta brainwave emanating whatever vibration and sound, can they give their listeners something negatively in that manner? Higher Self says sometimes it may transfer. Sometimes it can transfer. Sometimes it can, yes. Okay, it just depends on all the different situations to that? Yes, not always. Okay, good. If you could explain to me what are the other ways that they would transfer this sphere type of consciousness into people? Other technologies, microscopic. You can breathe it in. They don't need to cut the skin anymore. It's almost as if it's in the air. Is it in the air through chemtrails? I'm seeing dust, almost like dirt in the air. It's in that dirt and dust. Is there something that's manufacturing that dirt and dust? There are two ways. One is coming through. I'm seeing space rocks like an asteroid. It's dust that released from outside. And then there's dust that we release inside. Inside from where? One is manufactured here. The other is brought from outside of this planet. How do they release it onto Earth? The air, it's in the water, the dirt. Is that what they were doing, testing out how to be able to insert these into people? Yes. And now they have developed into what you said, the nanotype of... Yes. Okay. If you could tell us how it is, I understand that it's there in the air and in the water. How does it enter the air and the water? It's released. From what? I'm seeing the chemtrails, but it's like they're releasing something underground too that mixes with the dirt and water. Does it have anything to do with the pesticide they're throwing on the food? Yes, yes. So what happens when people drink this water and eat the food, and perhaps they're not healing the water, the food, or bless it, they're just eating it just like that? What happens when they consume it into them? You continue the disconnect. So it keeps them in that disconnect? Yes. Do you mean the disconnect from the soul, like that child was there, but yet not connected to the soul? Yes. Aurora says, anything else you want to tell us on this subject and how they insert this reptilian consciousness into people? Higher Self says, there is hope. Yeah? Higher Self says, the trees help you. The earth helps you. It's almost as if they clean what they can. There is hope. Beautiful. So nature helps heal this. Is that what you're saying? It aids. Yes. How can we help ourselves? Does the earth help heal and transmute these particles? Push the light into it? It's almost as if it turns it off, disables it. If you push that light, if you do this consciously until you do it unconsciously all the time, you will do what the earth does. Aurora, Similar to that little boy who held off that ball from trying to go into him, he kept pushing it off with his light. Yes. The body scan begins. Okay. Thank you for this awakening and beautiful information. It is much needed in this time and space for others to hear. Thank you. Higher Self, if we could please do a body scan on her now. Let us know if you need any aid from the archangels. While we are on this subject, I want to see if there's any trauma, anything negative within her that is held because of this life that you showed us that we need to focus on and address first. Higher Self, I would like assistance. Who would you like to call upon first? Archangel Zedekiel. Beautiful. If we could please speak to Archangel Zedekiel now. We'd love to be able to speak to you. Greetings, brother. Is that you? Yes. Welcome. We love you. We honor you. We respect you. Thank you for being here. What a beautiful gift. Not too often do we get to speak to you. We are performing a body scan on her now, and she just showed us a life where reptilian beings were performing experiments on her. We wanted to scan that life to see if she had any trauma. Any negative energy that is holding onto her now from that needs to be healed. If you could scan her whole body and see what is connected to that life now, thank you. Zedekiel says, 3 connections. Where is it that you see those connections? In her head, 2 in her head, 1 in her stomach. Aurora, can you describe to me what connections look like, please? What are they? Looks like tubes, black tubes. Let's look at these black tubes closely, at the ones in the head. How did these get here? They implanted. When? Other lifetimes. What are these black tubes causing her now? Confusion, doubt. Is it technology? They're feeding deposits into her. What do you mean by these deposits? They're feeding black liquid deposits to keep her under. Is this black liquid similar to that ball that was inserting blackness into the little boy who couldn't hold it off? Yes. Okay, so is this liquid at all connected to the reptilian consciousness? Zedekiel says, planet. Aurora asks, to a planet? What planet? Zedekiel says, it looks like a dead planet, a black planet, but there is still activity. Can you tell us a little more about this planet, Zedekiel? You said that it's black, but there's activity on it. If you could look closer, is there life on it? Consciousness, but not incarnated life. How does this consciousness look? How can you describe it? It's just black swirls moving around. The planet is large. There's a lot of texture to the planet. It's very bumpy. Those beings are no longer there, but the consciousness is. Who were the beings before? Can you tell us more about the beings who were there before? One of the reptilian races. Okay. And what happened to that planet? They destroyed it. This, what she has, is it connected to that planet? Zedekiel says, it's as if the planet, the consciousness within the planets, are depositing the little liquids that they have left into her. They cannot take over, but they can deposit. Aurora, what do they get out of it by depositing this into her? Zedekiel shows they don't want her to remember. Okay, can we start transmuting this out of her, Zedekiel? You said it was in her stomach too? Does it have a consciousness? Do we need to speak to it, or do we just transmute it? You can just transmute it. Very good. If we could start focusing our fire elements, or whatever energy you need to be focusing as well, Zadikil, upon both the head and the stomach area where these are located at. If we could all go ahead and start transmuting it out, please. Are we doing that now? Yes. Thank you, Zadikil. Can you tell me, brother? She had mentioned that there was still one of these undercover bases in Africa. She said it was like a portal. Is there something that we can do about this portal so we can close it off, so they won't come in and out of it anymore? Yes. Okay, what can we do, Zadikil? Metatron can seal it. When he seals it, can I talk to Metatron during the process? And then I talk back to you? Yes. Thank you. If I could please speak to Metatron now, please. Yes. Welcome, brother. We love you. We honor you. We were speaking to Brother Zadikil, and he said that we could call on you to close the portal that is in Africa, that they are still running some of these testing that we're mentioning through the session. Would you please be able to walk us through what you are doing to close that portal there in Africa? Metatron says yes. Thank you. And before you close it, is there anyone there inside that you would be locking in or sealing there? No, I'm cleansing that area. How are you cleansing it? Metatron says, my Merkaba spinning and spinning and spinning through the tunnels. Is there any life in there through as you are doing that? Not right now. The beings that go in and out of the portals, they're not there? Not right now. Okay, so tell us what you do next after you cleanse them. Metatron says, placing a cube, and I'm filling it with light, filling it with a symbol. With the symbol, no one may enter, no one may exist. I want to make sure we're not permanently trapping anyone in there. There is no one here. Okay, good. Now, what happens if someone negative who has these ties to this space tries to enter? What happens to them? Metatron says they may not enter. Okay, they just can't enter. They cannot connect. Aurora says, can we go ahead and send healing? If we could call on the collective consciousness of angels, and we can send healing to this land that still had this space there. Also, as we're sending to this particular base, can we send it to any other bases that are now closed off? Since there was only, I believe, 2 remaining, as you all mentioned, to anywhere that these bases were at, that perhaps there is still residual energy there where they were at Metatron. Metatron, some. Can we go ahead and start sending love light healing to all these areas that need it now? Yes. Thank you. Very good. Is there anything else, Metatron, that you'd like to share with us before we talk back to Zadikil? No. Okay. Thank you, Metatron. We love you, we honor you, and we respect you. Thank you for your aid. If you could please connect us to Zadikil now. I am here. Thank you, Zadikil. Now, how are those black tubes looking in her now? Better, but one is still there. Which one? One by her forehead. Okay, we'll continue focusing transmutation energy there. Can we have Brother Raphael start filling in wherever it was that we're removing negative energies from? Can we have him please fill in the love light there? Raphael says yes. Thank you, brother. We honor you and we thank you. Thank you, Raphael. Zadikil, If you could please scan her body one more time. Is there anything else that holds any type of trauma or energy from that life in her? Zedekiel says, her hands. What's going on with her hands? She used it to protect herself at that time, but it's almost as if they're not active, not as powerful. Minor block. Okay, can we go ahead and start healing that for her now, please? Yes. Okay. Good. And as we heal it, Zedekiel, when it's time again, have Raphael fill love light there, and thank you. Okay. Now let me see if she has any specific things here that we want to address during the body scan. She wants to know if she can release excess weight and addiction to meat, cheese, and sugar. What is keeping her addicted to that? Fear. Can we go ahead and release that fear? Help her clear that? Yes. Thank you. Are we doing that now? Yes. She also wants to know if we could open her third eye so that she can make more connection to her intuition stronger and clearer. She wants to be a clear channel. Can we start working on that for her now, please? Yes. Thank you. She wants to know if she can upgrade and activate her crystalline DNA for easier ascension and clear all ancestral and past life issues encoded to her DNA. Yes. Good. And she said she also feels waves of anger and then guilt and a cycle of shame. Can you tell us why? And she says she's ready to release it. Zedekiel says, childhood. What happened to her in childhood that is causing this? Zedekiel says, responsibility. So much responsibility. Jasmine, during the interview, mentioned that her mother was irresponsible. Therefore, even though she was the child, she had to often be the mother to her mother. Responsibilities fell on her. Aurora says, can we go ahead and heal that pain, that trauma that holds the anger and guilt there and shame? Where is that found in her body? In her stomach. Okay, can we heal that now, please? Transmute it and heal it now. Yes. Good. Will she be able to feel happier and enjoy life more so? Contract. Aurora asked, that was a contract? Zedekiel says, she is undoing that contract. Good. Can we help her today to go ahead and undo it completely, Zedekiel? He says yes. Good. Thank you. Higher self, if we can go ahead with your permission, undo that contract for her, please. Higher self says yes. Thank you. Can you scan her whole body, Zedekiel, now for any entities, negative implants, hooks, portals, any reptilian consciousness? Let me know what you find. Her lower spine. What's in her lower spine? Entity. If we could please speak to the entity now. Zedekiel, help us with connecting to the entity now. If it could please come up, 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 up. Greetings. The entity says, hello. Hello. Thank you for speaking to us. May I ask you questions, please? Okay. Are you a male or female? Male. How is it that you found yourself in her body? When was it that you connected? When she was a fetus? In her mother's womb? Yes. And what part of her body did you connect to then? As her spine was forming, I attached. Have you ever had a body? Yes. Do you have a body currently you're connected to? No. What happened to your body? How did you die? I don't know. That's okay. Do you feel that you're connected to anyone out there right now? Just her. Okay. Is there a being or an entity or a body of sorts connected to you now? I can't see one. Very good. Now that you've been there for a long time, now that we know you've been there for a long time, what kind of pain or what kind of pain have you been causing her? Many pains. Back pains, knee pains. Was this a contract? Her mother brought me forth. Why did she bring you forth? The mother? Immense fear. Okay, well, I know you've been there for some time. We'd love to be able to aid you today so that you may release yourself from having to be stuck in her body, so that you may be free and ascend and transform into love light. Be free and go as you please and desire. Would you allow for us to help you today so that you may shift into love light and no longer have to play this negative role? The entity asks, where will I go? You will go wherever it is that your higher self, as you yourself have a higher self as well, wherever your guides would like to aid you. The angels could always help you and direct you in whichever manner you are meant to go. Okay, good. We want you to look within you, find that light within you, and we're all going to focus love light onto you now. And if you could spread that light to all that is of you, every root, every cord, spread it to all light and let us know once you are all light. Positive polarized entity says, I am light. Aurora says, thank you. And if you could please remove yourself, every root, every cord, make sure you don't leave any piece of you behind, and let us know when you're finally out. I'm out. Beautiful. Thank you. Do you have a message for her before you go? The positive polarized entity says, I'm sorry. Thank you. It is done. Thank you. If you could have Raphael fill in that area now with love light, please, wherever it was removed from. Is he doing that now? Zedekiel says yes. Thank you to Zedekiel. Now, if we could please guide that entity now that is love light, guide him to wherever it is that he is meant to go. Angels, let us know, where is he going? Zedekiel says, it looks like the sun. He's going to the sun? Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Blessings, and may the love light of the universe surround you. Zedekiel, if we could please continue her body scan now. If we could again scan for her any entities, negative implants, portals, anything that we need to heal within her. Zedekiel finds the sacral chakra. What's going on there? Something's there. Is that an entity? More than one. How many are there, Zedekiel? I can't count. It's a lot. Are any of them reptilian? Can't tell. Do you need any help from Archangel Michael or anyone else that could help you? Zedekiel says, can we call upon Ra? Yes. Very good. Zedekiel, if you could connect us to Ra now, we would love to be able to speak to Ra now, please. Greetings. Is this Ra? Yes. Thank you for being here. We love you. We honor you. May we ask you for aid? Yes. Thank you. Zedekiel mentioned that there is a collective of sorts in her sacral chakra. Can you please help us? Is that collective connected to the reptilians, or what is this collective of? Ra says, collective of suffering souls. Suffering of souls from, is there a particular place? Or if we could have Metatron surround that collective there now with his symbols, please. Did he do that? Yes. Thank you. Where does this stem forth from? Where did this begin? This suffering of a collective that's there. Where is the initial beginning of this suffering? Ra says, the place where the souls have suffered, many lifetimes have gone. I see them spinning and screaming in sorrow and agony. Never ending. Is this a time that's connected to this planet? It feels like another dimension. Can you show us, Ra? Can you tell us more of this dimension? I see a galaxy, and this is a place within this galaxy. But it's another. Why are there suffering energies coming out from that dimension? Ra says, they were called there. They tried to have relief, but it was almost like a trap. There was no relief. What else can you tell me of this dimension, Ra? They just want to be freed. How many are there? Hundreds of souls. How is it they connected to her? What is their connection to her? She wanted to help, but they attached to her. They connected to her. What can we do, Ra, about helping these hundreds there in this dimension? We need to release this place. How can we do that? Tell us what to do. We can open the doors, but we must all work together. Good. Are you working together as Ra to do this? Yes. Good. And if you could tell me along the way what you're doing to help them. Ra, there were sealed doors and we're opening them now. But as these beings leave, if we can send them to the light, then they can be freed. They no longer need to suffer. Good. Can we start that process now? Yes. Can you tell us what happened to them that they created the initial suffering? They carried so much pain. They each wanted to ease someone else's pain, but they just took it on as their own, and they kept growing and growing. They are leaving now. Good. Beautiful. And tell me where it is that they're going. I see them bursting into different directions. Beautiful. And if we could have all the angels guide them and make sure that they go wherever they are meant to go for their highest good. Yes, please. Thank you. And as we do that, can we ensure that we are healing the connection that they had there to her sacral chakra? If we could heal and transmute that out, please. Ra says, yes. Thank you. Very good. And as we transmute that out of there, if we could just have Raphael fill in light there, as well as Ra, you're definitely welcome to fill in love light as well. Ra, if I could continue to ask you, would you like to continue the body scan, or should we continue back to Siddiqiel? I can do it. Beautiful. Ra, if you please scan her whole body now. We are looking for any entities, implants, portals, reptilian consciousness, anything that needs removal from her now. Ra says, on her feet, it looks like a portal. She uses this to travel, but she does not close the portal. Okay, which foot is it? Her right foot. Can we go ahead and start sealing that portal for her now, please? Yes. Thank you. When you are done sealing it, if you could please also fill in that love light there for her, please. What was it causing her? It was bringing others through. They would linger. Very good, Ra. Can you scan the rest of her body? Let us know what else you're finding. Any negative energies, entities, technologies within her that acquire healing? I don't see anything. Very good. Thank you, Ra. And I want you to scan just one more time for any reptilian consciousness. I want to make sure there is none in her. No. Very good, Ra. Do you have a message for her before you go? Ra says, this will not be our last time talking. Aurora, thank you. And before you go, is what we removed from her sacral chakra what was causing the sexual issues with her not enjoying physical intimacy? Ra, that caused her suffering, her sorrow, her despair. Okay, so can we heal that now so she won't have it any longer, please? Yes. Okay, and then also she was asking if we could heal the cycles of codependency and toxic relationships. Is there anything inside her that is causing that? There is something attached to her heart, but also to her root. What is that? Looks like a chain with a hook on both ends. How did that get there and when did it attach? A previous life. Can we go ahead and transmute that out, please? Ra, it needs healing. Aurora, good. Let's go ahead and transmute and heal it now. Should I use the Phoenix fire on it? Ra says, please. Okay, doing that now. I know she had those tubes in her head, and I mentioned that she had headaches and bumps in the skull that appeared a few years ago and that they were painful. Is that connected to those tubes she had? Yes. Good. I know we healed that already. Let's see. Did we complete the removal of that? Of the tubes? Yes. Ra says they are gone. Good. So, if we could just make sure we fill in the love light there. Thank you. Ra, can you also scan for her? She says she feels that her parents and her ex-husband have done black magic on her, ill will toward her. Can we scan her and see if she has any effects or detachments to this and clear any cords to that? Tell me what you find. Or also to her son, please. Ra, yes. What do you see? Her hands and feet are bound so that she cannot move. Okay, what is it bound by? It looks like old chains, rusted, old, and thick. Was that there just this life or other lives? Lifetime upon lifetime upon lifetime. Okay, and can you tell us also about her mother, since she was a reptilian there in that life? What is the reason why they have come into this incarnation as being the mother and her being her daughter? Ra says control, patterns of control. Aurora, by doing that, was this going to balance out the karma there to what they did to her in that life? Ra, she must prove that she cannot be controlled and break free. She must prove that she still has her light and uses it. She must remind her mother of her own light so that she may be free, for we are all one. Very good. Thank you. Okay. And she said that she had that entity attached to the spine. But we already healed that, right? Yes. In the lower backbone sacral? Yes. Okay. Good. She wanted to know if we could please just leave her clean and in her purest soul essence. Can we do that? Yes. Thank you. Ra, before you go, she wanted to know if we could please scan her son Matthew. Would you be able to connect us to Matthew's higher self and aid us along the way? If we could please heal him in any way. Yes. Thank you. If I could please speak to Matthew's higher self now, let me speak to him. Matthew's higher self, hello. Hello. Thank you for speaking to us. May I ask you questions? Matthew's higher self, yes. Thank you. The mother of Matthew wanted us to know if we are able to help him in any way and help him in any matter to heal, remove any attachments. He also has asthma and allergies. What can we do for him? Any negative implants, negative thought forms, or cords? Tell me, out of all of this, what do we have permission to help him with this time in this time and space? Matthew's higher self, thought forms. Okay, what's going on with his thought form? Matthew's higher self, an attachment. There's an attachment there? Yes. Where is it located? In the head. It's on his head. On his head. And how did it enter there? What occurred that allowed for it to enter? He was scared. He was small and so scared. What was he scared of? The beings around him. He could sense the beings around him? Yes. Can we go ahead and help that entity within him? Help heal it and remove it, please. Yes. Thank you. Can you tell us, are there any other attachments that we're allowed to help him heal if he has any more? There's something in his lungs. What's in his lungs, please? Looks like a machine. Can you explain that, please? Matthew's higher self. It looks like his lungs are inside some type of mechanism, some type of machine, and there are pumps and things moving around in the machine. How did this get placed in there? From a past life. Is this the initial cause of asthma? It contributes. What else contributes to asthma and allergies? Adaptation. It's not from here. Can we go ahead and remove that type of machine around his lungs, please? We can. What do you need us to do to help you remove that, higher self? Just send healing, because when I open the machine, he will be fragile. Aurora asks, if we and all the R.A.A. could focus on it now, please. All who aid in this time and space, let us know when you're ready for us to send love light to him when you open up the machine. It's open now. Good. May we all send love light now. Yes, please. Good. Tell us what is going on as we send love light. His higher self says, the lungs are being encased. He no longer needed the mechanism to protect him. Now he may use light. Beautiful. If we could make sure that that's all full of love light and stable and healed. What about his asthma now? Will it be gone? Will it be healed? His higher self says improvements, but there's still a need for it. Okay, will it heal eventually? Yes. Good. And what is the cause of the allergies? Is that because he's not from here, you said? Adaptations. His body is still adapting. Is there anything else that we can heal within him, like implants, cords, or entities? There is a small implant. Where? I saw it in his arm, but then it moved. Can we have Metatron contain that implant now? Did Metatron contain it? Yes. Thank you. Why is it moving? His higher self says, it feels like it has a consciousness. It does not want to be seen. If we could speak to that consciousness there of that implant now, come up, up. Greetings. The consciousness says, hello. Hello. Thank you for speaking to us. May I ask you questions? Maybe. Thank you. When was it that you connected there into the body of Matthew? Birth. What allowed you to enter? The doctors gave medicine, so I went in. Was it medicine or shots? I don't know. Okay. And this is an implant, but yet you have a consciousness. Why is that? Are you a spirit, an entity attached to an implant? How does this work? Consciousness says, I am connected to the implant. Do you exist somewhere else or just in an implant? I have a body somewhere else. Okay, would you please be able to connect us now to that body somewhere else? Yes. Thank you. If we could please speak to you now. Greetings. Entity says, greetings. Thank you for speaking to us. May I ask you questions, please? I guess. Thank you. We're speaking to this consciousness and this implant that is attached to Matthew, and you're wondering if we could get some more information from you. Yes. Thank you. If we could ask, where are you located? My ship. Is there a name for your race? I'm on a ship that is moving quickly throughout space. How is it that you inserted your consciousness into the implant? Entity. It's what we do. We have the power to do so. Okay. Is this a contract? Yes. Are you connected to any reptilians? Yes. Okay. I understand that you've been perhaps playing this role for a very, very long time. However, we are looking to aid you today. As you know, the earth is shifting. The energies in the universe are shifting into a higher vibration, a higher dimension. Would you allow us to aid you today so that you may shift your consciousness, the body there in that UFO? Yes, please set me free, says the entity. Thank you. We're going to start helping you, sending you love light, and we're also going to help that consciousness that you have been attached, that is yours in the implant. If we all can start sending love light now, Zadikiel, Ra, sending love light, Raphael, Metatron, whoever has aided so far, let's send love light to that being there on the ship. Do you know if there is anyone else on that ship that would like to ascend into light, into a higher dimension? Entity says, there are many ships. Aurora says, is there anyone else on that ship that would like to go as well, like you are, and ascend? Entity says, I'm the only one on this ship. Okay. Do these ships, the many that you speak of, what is their role with these implants? Entity says, they are the energy force that allows for the implants. We are tools that make the implants possible. Thank you. If you could look inside you now and spread every essence of you that is within this implant, as well as you there on this ship, spread it all to light. Every root, every cord, every part of you that is attached to this implant, and it is part of your body there, turn it all to love light and let us know once you are all love light. Positive polarized entity says, I am light. Aurora says, beautiful, thank you. Do you have a message for her before you go? Positive polarized entity says, now you can see us. Why do you say that? What do you mean by that? Now, she has seen, now she can lighten and let us go. Good, very good. Are you ready to go now? Yes, please. Good. Go ahead and go with the love light of the universe. If the angels could direct this being there to where they are meant to go, thank you. The positive polarized entity says, thank you, thank you. Aurora says, if we could start filling in, transmuting any leftovers of the implant there now, please. Matthew's higher self, it is done. Higher self, is there anything else that you want to address, or are we complete now? Matthew's higher self, for now. Thank you for allowing us to help him heal. We love you. We honor you. Matthew's higher self, thank you. If we could reconnect once more to the Ra. Ra, yes. Thank you, Ra. We pretty much are done then with her body scan. Is there anything else you want to say before you go? And we speak back to the higher self. Ra, We will work together. It is just the beginning. Thank you, sister. Aurora. Thank you, Ra. Love you, honor you, and respect you. If you could please connect us now back to her higher self, and our love to Zedekiel, Raphael, and Metatron who aided as well. Thank you. If I could please speak back to her higher self now. Higher self. Thank you. Aurora. Thank you. May I ask you questions, higher self? Yes. Good. Do you have a name? No. You have no name? Higher self. I am but a sound, but a vibration that beats through the heart. Aurora says, beautiful. And she wanted to know, what is her mission, purpose, and alignment? Her mission is to discover when to reveal. She will do this through writing. She has begun. The process will unfold. Thank you. Very good. Let's see. Can we go ahead and age regress her, please? Yes. How many years are we going to age regress her? 9. Thank you. Any age she needs, like dental, vision, hearing, any of that? Vision. Can we go ahead and heal her vision now? Yes. Thank you. Can you scan her for any negative cords, please? I feel like there's something. Aurora says, help her see and sense. Where is that? Higher self says, looks like her hip in the side of her body. What is there? I can't tell what it is. Can we call back on Zedekiel, please? Aurora says. Yes. Thank you. Connect us back to Zedekiel, brother. Thank you. Welcome back. If you could please scan the side of her body. The higher self is saying that when I ask if she could scan for any cords, can you scan that area she was talking about and see what's there? A. Zedekiel says, it looks like some type of attachment, some type of memory attachment. What memory is it attached from? From when? Zedekiel says, 2, 3 lifetimes, same thing. It's almost calcified onto her. There's an attachment there from the same thing happening over and over. Can we go ahead and transmute that out so that the cycle will not repeat itself anymore? Yes. What side of her body? Is it left or right? Right. Okay, start to transmute and heal that now, please. Thank you, Zedekiel. Metatron, can you please scan for any contracts or anything that needs to be cleared away or any trauma from this or past lives that need healing as well? Metatron says she can release her contracts. Aurora asks, is that all of them? Metatron says, some still pending, but she's ready to release. Aurora, what are some contracts that you would want to share with her that she had there, that she doesn't have to play out anymore? Metatron says that you are no longer contracted to be a victim. Anything else? Your contracts with the souls of the suffering is done. Good. Very good. Thank you, Metatron. If we could go ahead and release those contracts for her now, the ones that we're allowed to. Thank you, Metatron. Are there any other current or past life traumas that we need to heal? A.A. Metatron says, there is but one. She has already begun to release it, but I will complete it. Good, what is it? Metatron says, rape. Was it from this life or another? Past lives. Okay, good. If we could go ahead and release that and heal that trauma there, please. Thank you, Metatron. Anything you want to mention, Metatron, while you're here, brother? No. Metatron, I love you. honor you and thank you for helping us today. If you could please connect us back to Zedekiel now. Okay. Thank you. If I could please speak to Zedekiel once more. I am here. Okay. Very good. Well, in this time and space we've asked, and we've completed all the healing within her and her questions. We thank everyone who aided today. We love you. We honor you. The Ra, Raphael, Zedekiel, Metatron. Thank you to everyone and anyone else who aided that we do not know of. Blessings and thank you, everyone. If I could please be connected to her higher self once more to conclude this. Higher self says yes. Thank you, higher self. Is there anything else that I haven't asked that I could have asked? Higher self says this is all you needed for now. This is what you wanted and it is done. Aurora says yes. And wow, this was such a phenomenal session. Absolutely phenomenal. The information shared. It could really help others. Help them heal with their awareness. Is there anything else you would like to say before you go? Higher self says, I thank you and honor you. And Aurora says, I thank and honor you as well, and I love you. May I bring her back now? Yes. I thank everyone once more. That was the end of session. Wow. This is a phenomenal session that demonstrates the power of using our I Am Source Love Light to create force fields to shield us from harm and infringements. This was a tough session in seeing the experiments done to young children. This session showed us how we have been used, torn, and taken apart from one another in our families since times on earth that we can't remember consciously, like these villages. What kind of harmful ripple did this have on our collective parenting skills? If to protect our hearts, we had to disconnect from such violent ways of control so that we could bear being apart from our children, our seed, never knowing why they took them from us and if they were still alive. To negative polarized races, we are just experiments. One of their favorites is to use children for their experiments. As children hold the highest potency of purity and source love light, because they are truly the most powerful lights once birthed into earth. Why is it that one child would be able to go against such energetic force, trying to penetrate their auric field and consciousness, but another child was vulnerable? Perhaps it was because the older the soul, the greater their organic force fields and natural abilities have matured, and the more developed of an entity she would be. Her guide, her guardian, as we learned through this session, was herself, who was aiding with her shielding, pushing, causing a resistance against their negative infringement. Could it have been because the her in the now had an aura hypnosis healing session? It is what allowed for the creation of the bridge for her to become the wiser and stronger guide and protector to the child version of her in the past life. The wiser, stronger, older guide being the more complete version of herself in the future. For example, we are who heal our childhood and of current and past lives' pains and trauma. When we learn and understand it is we who have awakened in the now, is who embraces our child selves when they are in need of unconditional love and strength. we, as the wiser version of us in the future, are who heal ourselves in all the past lives. And this potential is attainable because we are a great masterpiece when we remember and learn from our past life selves. When we do so, we create ourselves into the wiser, strongest, best awakened and sovereign version of ourselves. We become the time traveler, traveling through time and space, where we receive the trauma. Then we materialize into our very own guides and become the invisible, strong voice and energy within us who says, "It's okay. Keep moving. Don't give up. I promise you, all will be fine." A 9-year-old child once told me, "Aurora, did you know that in the sky there are bad and good aliens in spaceships? The bad ones have very powerful technology that can go through every day and scan all of Earth, one big section at a time. As they scan, they register at what levels each light within people is at. Depending on this, they then chose the ones with the brightest light to give them a bad day through their negative technologies. But Aurora, the only way to stop them from scanning people openly is if people would shield. But the truth is, Aurora, no one shields. So they are always just able to scan everyone whenever they decide to." Wow! This child had never received this knowledge from anyone, but was only channeling his higher self for us, so that we may understand the importance of taking our sovereignty back by stating that we do not consent to any harm by shielding. The Divine Mother and Divine Father of the universe, the divine creator source of the universe, once told me, "Every day you wake, it is as a book, and that day is created into a chapter of your book. It is very simple. Will you allow others to write what your chapter and day will look like, or will you write it yourself with the true sovereign being that you are? Because we live in a universe of free-willed expression and polarizations of dark and light. We must learn to take our power and sovereignty back by setting intentions and activations of your infinite love light force fields daily. When you wake up and before sundown, you are taking your sovereignty back by shielding and registering your powered frequency by setting intents that you do not consent to any harm. To not set intentions is to allow others who might not have your best interest at heart to wield your day. Therefore, to not shield is the same as if you are consenting to others to do what they want with your energy. There are revelations occurring within our time and space in the year 2020 that seem as if we have been waiting for an eternity to occur. Revelations of darker truths we could not face or were so horrendous that we didn't want them to be true. The time has now come for these darker truths to come up to the surface so we can start healing this within ourselves and for the collective. The time has now come for us to do our shadow work, so deep healing can take place to allow for ascension to come forth. This book was waiting for this very moment. This sobering session is an example of how negative polarized reptilians have been trafficking humans and abducting children since as far as we can remember. Negative polarized beings want to experiment on us so they can use us as battery light sources for their harmful negative agendas. It is time for all of us in the universe to say, no, we do not consent. Shall it be, and so it is. And here is an update from Jasmine with her email titled Gratitude. Hello, Aurora. I just wanted to thank you so much for all of the enlightenment you have brought into my life. After my aura session, so many aspects of my life have become transformed for the better. There are no words to describe the gratitude I have for you and your work. It has been about 5 months, and the blessings are still coming in. It's as if all of the pieces of a greater puzzle keep coming together, and I'm enjoying every moment of this new beautiful reality. I hope that you can feel the love and appreciation that I send you. My dear sweet sister, thank you, thank you, thank you. Always, Jasmine. And Aurora says here, envision thou existence as a book of creation. When awakened to thy sunrise, to thy sundown, blank pages stand forth as rebirth and new creation. A new story to write within thy own frequencies and vibrations, thy own words, thy own thoughts. Memorize olden chapters within thy book in wisdom, learning of the lessons of thy existence, in remembrance, not remaining stagnant in thy past, author of one's books, stories thy are. Step forward daily to write what you seek. Surrender. Say to hell with it. I shall create today what thy heart's desire. Aurora. And this concludes Chapter 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the opportunity to tell the Galactic Soul History of the Universe by Rising Phoenix Aurora. Blessings to all.
Greetings. It is such an honor to be here with you explaining what Galactic Soul History book series is about. I am Aurora. I am the founder of Aura Hypnosis Healing, which you will find here in our beautiful books. Book 1. Every part of this book is divinely beautiful, beginning from the cover and the amount of wisdom and knowledge that is being shared. This book began by Aura Hypnosis Healing Technique by conducting past life regression on over 330 clients within the last 3 years, where they told their galactic history, their soul journeys, explaining who they were somewhere beyond the veil, beyond this earth, in the dimensions, in a universe, these different higher self expressions surprise me just as much as they're going to surprise you. You're going to start reading this book and you're going to want to learn more and more about these different expressions, not wanting to stop. Through these past life regressions, the clients were able to remember consciously what is within the subconscious as far as where it is that they've traveled throughout time and space, their souls have traveled, and they were able to share histories of different dimensions, planets, and universe and alternate worlds that brought forth pieces of the puzzle, pieces we had thought that we had forgotten. And through every self-expression that they share and these different past lives that they're sharing or future, we learn to be able to remember self, because as we are all fractals of one another, through this book, you will learn how even if a client is talking through a higher self perspective or some of the angelics are talking, you will learn how each one of those have messages even within your life, as we are all expressions and reflections of one another. True history of the galactic history of the universe through all different forms of these higher self expressions, these different clients of throughout internationally throughout the world didn't know each other, but yet we're able to put this beautiful collaboration together. It goes through an infinite amount of how to self-heal, as well as things that are very sensitive, as the mind lab, as how to weave through the artificial matrix and learning to come out from it into the organic matrix. I am a channel to the galactics, and we channeled furthermore information through this book as well. You will remember your soul through other selves. This in itself is infinitely beautiful, because this is why we fractalize from source itself, so that we can learn from one another, sharing each other's journeys throughout our different incarnations, so that we could grow together. So this is what this book is all about, sharing these beautiful infinite expressions that help you grow in the most profound ways, gaining your sovereignty, gaining your power back, recalling memories long lost within perhaps your memory field, activating your crystalline energies, your crystalline bodies, just as you will fall in love with each one of these different clients, these beautiful souls in these soul journeys. You will also learn to fall in love with yourself, because you, with every wisdom, every knowledge gained through every single session that you will learn how to also self-heal within your etheric, your energy body, your physical body, your infinite soul. You will learn all these different things that we thought were not possible, that you will learn that they are possible. Looking forward to meeting you perhaps in the future through whichever form, whether that is on my YouTube channel, whether it is through any class or certification, through a workshop, through a seminar. Thank you for following your heart to mine. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you.